Hey collective, welcome back to the channel. I am MC 5D Astrology and Tarot. I'm so glad to have you. Today we are doing the Why Me message. This is episode 1 of Why Me. Hopefully you checked out the intro video to the Why Me message just to kind of give you a feel of where we're going to be going at it with this. But these are all messages in order to help us evolve and to grow. But most importantly, these messages are coming directly from the divine. The divine wants our attention. And I know people have many words for how they describe the highest energy. So if you refer to it as the divine, some refer to it as God, Allah, whatever the word you use, we're all speaking of the highest energy source, which we all pray, we all adore, and we all love, right? So this message here today is all about why me? Why me? And we live in a world collective where there's a lot of why me going on. And it has to do with trying to figure out what's going on in our lives. Why this happened to me? How come that didn't happen to me? Why did I meet this person? Why am I involved with these groups of people? How did my life get to this point? All of these things in our lives is so much, whether it's spiritually, mentally, emotionally tied into the physical. It's all about the wellness of self. Yet we live in a world where it's all about not wellness of self, but issues. You gotta ask yourself, why do we live in a world where everybody that controls the world wants us to have issues, right? They make it so easy for us to access something that would give us an issue, like alcohol, like drugs, like toxic broadcasting and music and all of these things, right? Visuals. They bring toxicity into us from the early ages of when we were born. They indirectly, passive aggressively teach us to be toxic, to have issues. And then we get in the world and we literally live out what has been educated to us, whether indirectly or directly. And then we wonder, once we start to maneuver and do these things that were taught to us by this system, then we start realizing that, wait a minute, that this can't be right. Like, was I not listening in class? What's the problem? Because why am I going through all of these obstacles and trials and tribulations that make things so hard, that wear and tear on our spirit, which is tied to our emotions, what is tied to our mental, which is tied to our physical? Why am I acting out all these things in the physical when it comes to my mental, my emotions, what's tied to our spiritual? So yes, we live in a world where everything is called what? Mental health. And they bank off of the mental health. When I say they, I'm speaking of society. Society is controlled by what? History. Everyone is excited and talks about, oh, I made what? History. My information, everything I do is going to go down in history. I'm going to leave a legacy in history. But when you think about it, history is really what? Let's break the English language down a little bit. His story. So what are you really out here doing, collective? Why are we really here? Are we really here to live out his story? Who is his story? You know what I mean? Or did you come here to live out your story? And there's only one you, even if you're a twin, identical or fraternal, it doesn't matter. There's still something what? Uniquely similar about you. So I'm here today to deliver the why me message that a lot of the collective wants to know in order to help them move forward. This is a beautiful message from the divine, and there's many, many lessons within this lesson. So if you're going through anything in your life, if you're having a breakdown, if you are anything, whatever it is you're going through, I feel like this message can resonate with anyone in order to understand the bigger purpose of life and why we're here. If you want to know why we're having so many issues on earth, why the world is the way that it is, yet we have just a small percent of happiness, of unity, of healthy relationships, of good communication, of healthy education, you've come to the right place, because this is going to help you further understand not only what has been stolen and taken from you, but how you can help yourself understand why the divine keeps stopping you in your tracks and literally giving to you moments in life that are either becoming easier because you're doing the internal work, or it's becoming a lot harder because your ego is getting in the way of helping you realize you need to stop. You're meant to pause, and you're meant to go in a new direction. And what does that direction look like? In the world we live in, they've ensured that it's only one direction we go towards, and that's his story. As long as we keep creating and making and doing things for his story, the matrix is good. But once you start to realize what's really going on around you and that you're not actually thriving or doing anything of abundance in this storyline with the character that you're playing, you start to question everything that's been taught to you and passed down to you. And it makes you what? Start to think for yourself. It makes you start to research and go deeper within self. So the divine just wanted to hop on through me and give you an important message. So these are messages not only from the divine, but from your ancestors, from your archangels, from your guides, you know, all of those beautiful energies within you, from your intuition, because you guys, all of us have a higher calling on our life, and we are more than just slaves in this society and history and this matrix system that we live in that has been conditioned and made to control us. So without further ado, to start this episode off, we're going to get to some nitty gritty about why me. And we're going to keep it 100% real. If you want to know why life sucks, why life is going the way that it is, we're going to talk about it. Now, I do want to give a pre-warning. Some of these messages that are coming from the spirit realm, it may trigger you, but it's meant to trigger you in a way so you can grow and you can evolve and can be better. Some people are ready to grow and evolve. Some people are in denial about it. Some people are on the fence about it. And some people are just not even awakened enough just yet to know that something is going on that is wrong. Something needs to change around them, within them, and then within the world. We're all one big energy source. And once that energy source of connection has been cut and withered and stripped away and divided and divided and divided and subtracted, then you start to have a problem with you start to have not only a problem with yourself, but you start having a problem with everyone in the world, because it means we're not in tune, we're not balanced, and we're not on one accord. So the divine simply wants to get us back on what? One accord. And the only way that can happen is if you wake up, if you decide to be who you truly are. If you wake up and you decide to be truly who you are and you learn truly who you are, 9 times out of 10, the life that you have been taught to know, the person and version of yourself you've been taught to know and live in and to wear this mask to be, you won't even be doing it no more. It's like literally waking up to the fact that your whole life you've been lied to about who your mom and your daddy is. That's how deep it runs. So collective, let's go ahead and get into these why me messages. I'm super excited. I've already saged out the energy, but I want to go through these bullet points and help the collective get a little bit closer, not only to their authentic self, but get closer to divine, get closer to the God, to the Allah that you serve, and to start really asking yourself deeper questions and stop always just believing what history has told us. Stop always thinking that history knows best, because we see out in the world today, they don't know best. And we have a lot of references in the world through his story that everyone is trying to make, trying to be a part of, that's going to show us that, nah, this ain't right. This can't be our storyline. Why would the divine create something so beautiful, such as ourselves, that come in this world so pure and loving and kind and gracious and open and creative and have all these great ability and talents, all to be controlled and torn down and suppressed and taken advantage of, enslaved, regarding our trade that was within us, thinking it's a trade from the divine to this system, and that is what it is. It's not. You don't ever want to trade your spirit, your soul, for a fake system, a fake illusion, just to say I made history. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. I don't want to keep y'all for too long, but I had to get that out. So why me? Why me? Right? A lot of us, again, we've asked ourselves, why me? Whether it comes to someone you love who just passed away and it didn't make sense, to a hard situation. Maybe you are into the court system right now, battling between child custody, why me? Why am I going through this? Maybe you are a single parent and you're struggling to take care of your kids, or you may not know where the next meal, the next shoe, the next t-shirt, the next school supply is going to come from. Maybe you just got out of a real toxic relationship, or you're in a relationship that just doesn't suit you, and you've been giving the best of yourself to someone before you gave the best of yourself to yourself, and you're asking yourself, why me? Maybe it has to do with your career and your job, and you're in the wrong place, and you've been in the wrong place for so long, but it's because you're tied into the fact of, I need this money. I need a tree. Well, what about your tree within you? You are a tree, you know? Maybe it has to do with transportation. You don't know how you're gonna get around. You just don't know. Your car broke down. Why me? You know, maybe you're battling health issues, right? Or maybe you almost wanted to commit suicide. Maybe someone around you killed themselves and you're trying to figure out why, no, this can't, what was going on? How did I not see the signs? What did I miss? Maybe you have to change your friend group, or maybe something's going on in your family and you're trying to figure out why you feel like the black sheep of your family, why you feel so misunderstood. Maybe people take you for granted. Maybe people plan your kindness, right? Maybe you witnessed a murder and you're trying to figure out, oh my gosh, what? There's so many things in life. Maybe you're incarcerated and you didn't do it. And you've spent 10, 15, 12 months, 15 years, 15 months, 30 years of your life falling for the crime of his story. All because people don't want to snitch, or people want to lie, or the system is covering up things to keep you where you are. You know, when you think of healthcare, when you think of the pharmaceutical industry, when you think of education industry, why is it that a certain group of people in a certain town or a place or a county in each city and state and country we're in, you have some people that have all the tools and resources needed and some that don't? Make it make sense. So the question is, why me? Why do you look the way that you look? Why do you feel the way you feel about you? You know, so these are all very valid questions about why me? Why me? Why me? And so Divine wants to come in and just love on us a little bit. Again, some of these why me messages, it may trigger you, but again, I'm just the messenger. All right, so let's get into it. Why me? Divine said this to me, so I will share. Why me? Because you didn't come here to belong, but to create something new. Why me? The ego aspect of self is programmed to believe and fit into a system that is not reality, yet calls itself reality. Therefore, you encounter people and the places and the things attached to these people and these places, and it triggers your authentic reality, which the ego is not programmed to understand, only intuition is. Why me? You are here to stand out and to be uniquely similar, not a carbon copy, and hung up on an assembly line like the Ken and Barbie doll, to operate like a string slave. Why me? So you can remember who you are. All these lessons and trials and tribulations via the lessons are triggering your energy to wake you up. So you think for yourself. First, we're at the matrix, the society within the matrix, history within the matrix, an amen version of the character they feel you are most appropriate to be casted as. Why me? Evolving into the next stage of development. Why me? To take back, not ask for permission to take back, yet take back what was stolen from you in your past lifetimes, including yesterday, including today, including 5 hours ago, or maybe 3 minutes ago. And what has been also stolen from your mystic bloodline society, your ancestors, your Gmas, your grandmothers, your grandfathers, all those that came before us, even those you may not have met. Yet this bloodline of mystic energy in society has been mocked and says it's not real, yet makes movies and TV series about it, which means it exists, just maybe not in the way they tell the story. Why me? To return back to your soul tribe and away from the blood tie history has taught you to be family, friends, and romantic pursuits. Why me? To get closer to me and to learn me for who I truly am versus what society tells you and shares with you about me, because remember, I live inside of you. So why go outside to ask who I am? Why go outside of yourself to ask who you are? You shouldn't have to. I don't want you to. Why? Because the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God, is from a narrow perspective to protect a system that does not care nor have your best interest at heart. Why me? To learn how to communicate and to be in unity and to be in love and to be in peace, not only just within yourself and your own temple, but for the people around you that you love, especially your children, because they are the next generation in the next future, and they will be leading what we lead behind. Why me? To rid yourself of man-made spiritual, mental, and emotional diseases that plagues your physical. Why me? To get in alignment with your assignment. Parentheses. That is courtesy of House of Oshan. Spiritual Rum says, so go check her out on YouTube. Why me? And to protect Mother Nature's earth and all the portals connected that have been removed from our sight by magic, so we don't see past the illusion of the stories in the man-made Bible that after each prayer we say amen and give them all the glory, yet we don't give it to ourselves, and you don't give it to me, yet you give it to outside sources. Make it make sense. Why me? To create your own LBIB. And LBIB is just Bible backwards, rooted in Spanish. So make sure you look it up and research for yourself. And to tell your story and stop being brainwashed by amen, history, because they created the matrix. Why me? Because you are being robbed of your identity and wearing someone else's spiritual, emotional, physical, and mental health issues versus identifying you were given not health issues, yet spiritual, emotional, physical, and mental health wellness. Why me? You are not here to play the game. You are here to change the game. Why me? You are being set free so you learn how to, let me pause on the play, y'all. Why me? You are being set free so you learn to know how not to accept less from yourself and others because you cut yourself short, because you have been programmed to cut yourself short. And my trees always grow and stand tall. Nothing short about my creations, nor miracles. And if you don't believe me, go look in the mirror. I created you, didn't I? Yep, I sure did. Man, history, society, amen, did not. Why me? Stop giving them so much power and credit over your life and the energy that actually helped create it. Why me? Because I unconditionally love you without conditions, and I want you back. So come home. Why me? Because it's too many materialistic mindsets that help kill the very earth you walk on, have been programmed to think and say this when it boils down to stepping out their comfort zone to dead systems that have suppressed us way too long. And this is what they usually say. Oh, there's no way my tax bracket is set up. That might not look good on my tax return. There's no way. I don't think I can do that. The way my taxes are set up, that might not look right on my tax return. Materialistic, an illusion. Why me? You're lost, and it's time you found yourself. All right, collective. Those are the why me messages. And the divine wants to let you know that each of those messages are very, very important for all of us regarding the times we're living in and the times to come, and also roots in the times that have already passed by. So make sure you ask yourself, the next time you decide to ask yourself, why me? Look a lot deeper into your life. And remember these bullet points the divine shared with us today, because it's going to help you understand why me. All the answers were just given to you. And there's plenty of more, I'm sure. But those are the downloads that I got for you today. So make sure that you take this information with discernment, you pray on it, you meditate on it, and you allow yourself to think for yourself. And you allow yourself to have a conversation with yourself and with the highest energy source possible. So that way you can stop repeating cycles that don't serve you. You can stop projecting onto other people so that you can go within and look at the projection that is within yourself, the light that's within you, and you can see everything within yourself. That way it allows you to see the world and what's going on a much, much deeper level. You guys, we have some really, really important times coming up ahead, and all of us play a role in it. Everything we choose to do, what we choose to say, how we choose to act, interact, what we choose to ignore, the people we allow to do certain things, and we enable that behavior because it's been passed down by generation and generation that certain things are meant to be this way. It's not. That's why we have issues to this day now. That's why a lot of people are grown and suffering, because we're not paying attention. We are living in an illusion and we got to get out of it. So I hope you guys enjoy those messages. Again, take what applies to you, but Spirit says everything applies to all of us. So there isn't one, or maybe one or the other. Some of you guys may have already worked on yourself, and all of these messages, you're like, I did the work. Oh my gosh, finally. Some of you guys are going to have to come in tune with this and make some hard decisions about how you want the rest of your trajectory in your life to go. Do you want to keep living the way you're living? Do you want to keep doing the things you're doing? Or do you want to leave a legacy in a spiritual trust fund that can turn into an emotional, a mental, and a physical trust fund on earth, not only for yourself for the first time, but for your bloodline you're creating and the generations that couldn't do it before you because of the suppression, because of what was taken from them. They always say, when you know better, you do better. Well, guess what? Here's some information for all of us to do better. So at this point, we don't have any more excuses. So again, let's get ready to work, because there will be no more why me. Because guess what? Why not you? If you decide to sit in the energy that doesn't serve you, then you need to ask yourself, why not me? If you continue to decide to make choices and decisions that don't suit you, or if you see someone that's really down that can't help themselves, but you know that you have the ability to speak up and help them, whether it triggers them or not, remember, collective, we're here for a much bigger reason outside of what the next day may be, the next 6 months will be, the next year will be. Everything we do plays a role into how the next generations and the next generations and the next generations are going to be able to come on this earth and live, and how they're going to live, and what resources we live behind. Not just the physical resources, but what is the mental like in your family that's being passed down? What is the spiritual like in your family being passed down? What is the emotions like in your family being passed down? You have to start asking ourselves these questions, because that's important. And to all of my black sheeps of the family, or for the ones who feel so alone, you know, the lone wolves, don't worry. Don't worry. You're going to find your tribe. Some of you guys already have. But either way, until next time, collective, I am MC 5D Astrology and Tarot, and this is episode 1 of Why Me? Divine says, well, let me tell you why you. All right, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe if this content resonated with your energy. I love you dearly. I love catching vibes here on the channel with you guys. Until next time, I will see you later in episode 2 and 3. It's coming next. All right. Bye, collective.